Hello and welcome back to my blog. Essays on the Constitution of the United States, part 14 or 15. 15. Cassius 11, part 1. The Massachusetts Gazette, number 394, Tuesday, December 25th, 1787. For the Massachusetts Gazette, to the inhabitants of this state. Concluded from our last. The third section in Article 4 also provides that Congress shall have power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or other property of the United States, and nothing in this Constitution shall be construed as a prejudice to the claims of the United States or any particular state. There is not certainly anything contained in the aforementioned clause which can be opposed on reasonable grounds. It is certainly necessary that Congress should have power to make all needful rules and regulations respecting the concerns of the Union, and if they exceed what is necessary, their regulations will be of no effect. For whatever is done by them, which the Constitution does not warrant, is null and void, and can be no more binding on the inhabitants of America than the edicts of the Grand Signior of Turkey. You will remember, my countrymen, that the words of the Constitution are, all powers herein granted. Section 4 of Article 4 says the United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislature or of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence. At the perusal of this clause, anti-federalism must blush, and opposition hide its head. Could anything have more openly or more plainly evinced to the world the noble motives which influenced the conduct of the delegates of America than the clause aforementioned? It provides that a republican form of government shall be guaranteed to each state in the Union. The inhabitants of America are surely acquainted with the principles of republicanism, and will certainly demand the establishment of them in their fullest extent. The section just mentioned secures to us the full enjoyment of everything which free men hold dear, and provides for protecting us against everything which they can dread. This article, my countrymen, is sufficient to convince you of the excellency of that Constitution which the Federal Convention have formed, a Constitution founded on the broad basis of liberty. And should the citizens of America happily concur in adopting it, its pillars may be as fixed as the foundations of created nature. Say, ye mighty cavaliers, ye inconsistent opposers of the new plan of government, of what avail to the thinking part of the community do you suppose will be all your clamors about a Bill of Rights? Does not the above-mentioned section provide for the establishment of a free government in all the states? And if that freedom is encroached upon, will not the Constitution be violated? It certainly will, and its violators be hurled from the seat of power and arraigned before a tribunal where impartial justice will no doubt preside, to answer for their high-handed crime. Article 5 of the new Constitution says that Congress, whenever two-thirds of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or on the application of the legislatures of two-thirds of the states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes, as part of the Constitution when ratified by the legislatures of three-fourths of the states, or by conventions in three-fourths thereof, as one or the other modes of ratification may be proposed by Congress, provided that no amendments which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. On what grounds can the opposers to the new plan found their assertions that Congress will have it in their power to make what laws they please and what alterations they think proper in the Constitution after the people have adopted it? The Constitution expressly says that any alterations in the Constitution must be ratified by three-fourths of the states. The 5th article also provides that the states may propose any alterations which they see fit, and that Congress shall take measures for having them carried into effect. If this article does not clearly demonstrate that all power is in the hands of the people, then the language by which we convey our ideas is shockingly inadequate to its intended purposes and as little to be understood by us as Hebrew to the most illiterate. The sixth section provides that this Constitution and the laws which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made in pursuance thereof under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. This is the article, my countrymen, which knaves and blockheads have so often dressed up in false colors, and requested your attention to the construction of it. Adopt not a constitution, say they, which stipulates that the laws of Congress shall be the supreme law of the land, or, in other words, they request of you not to obey laws of your own making. This is the article which they say is so arbitrary and tyrannical that unless you have a Bill of Rights to secure you, you are ruined forever. There we stop to continue tomorrow with Cassius 11, part 2. And then we're on to the letters of Agrippa, who has been name-called by Cassius. And this whole thing about the Bill of Rights, even with it in there, we weren't protected. Now were we? Make it a great day, and bye for now.